has to be declared. And so the community, we're talking about the empowered community. What should we look like? What is the very first thing we ought to be doing? We ought to be sharing the Word of God wherever it is that we are. If you work at the dollar store, if you work at the grocery store, if you work wherever, share the Word. Share the Word. If you be a testimony. I shared with you a few weeks ago about the lady at the restaurant. She hated working on Sundays because the church crowd was so mean. That's not sharing the Word. That's not the right. Stingy. They don't tip good. They're picky. And they just all around aren't likable people. And those who gladly received it, they were saved, about 3,000. Then we go on to verse 42. And they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrines and fellowship and breaking of bread and in prayers. Verse 42 immediately shows us a system by which we are supposed to be doing things. Well, verse 41 and 42, you can immediately see some things going. 41, it was done through the preaching of the Word. And in verse 42, we see that the people shared worship and meals. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit and then we'll come back to this. In verses 44 and 45, I'm going to read them to you again. And all that believed were together and had all things in common, and sold their possessions and goods and parted them to all men as every man had need. So in verses 44 and 45, we see that this empowered community